Today, let's talk about the virality formula. Just look at all this content. MrBeast, Nike, Netflix, Apple, Chanel, different styles, different goals, different audiences. But they all use the same technique that makes their content unforgettable, scalable, and viral. I've studied over 1,000 viral videos. Seriously? And I spent months trying to figure out why some of them hit millions of views and stay in our memories forever, while others die with barely 100. And you know what I realized? Everything we've been told about virality is nonsense. The algorithms, the editing, the hooks, none of it matters if your content doesn't trigger viral emotions. Not just any emotions, viral ones. If you want to create viral videos, not just by accident, but by design, you need to learn how to manage your viewers' emotions. It's simple. Once you understand how it works, you can go viral in any niche. So right now, I'll show you how people actually perceive content, why they watch one video and skip another, which emotions makes content go viral, and how to build those emotions even into the driest expert material. If you apply these principles, I can guarantee your content will start sparking reactions and gaining far more reach. How people perceive content, why some content gets watched and others don't. So for example, recently I came across a video on the internet from the most ordinary fitness coach, and yet out of hundreds of others, this one struck my memory forever. And not because they're amazing at what they do, I didn't even know that yet, but because they gave me an emotion. They used a tool that lies at the core of every viral piece of content, one that many people in expert niches tend to forget about. A person can consider themselves as rational as they want, but emotions and instinct influence behavior much more than logic because they come from the older part of our brains. That's why if content doesn't evoke emotion, it simply doesn't trigger a reaction. Emotions are what push the viewer to take action, to click, to subscribe, to watch till the end, share, or buy. Every advertisement, video, reel, any format where it's important to capture attention and encourage interaction is built on this foundation. But it's not enough just to cause emotion. It's important to understand in advance which specific emotion you actually need. What emotions make content go viral? Which emotions do we actually need? We're used to dividing emotions into two types: positive and negative. Joy, excitement, love on one side, fear, anger, sadness on the other side. But very few people know that there are actually two more types: neutral emotions like curiosity, surprise, indifference, and ambivalent emotions. These two mix two feelings at once, like jealousy, love or hate, or Schadenfreude, anger and joy. But honestly, all that means nothing if we don't look at emotions from a marketing perspective. For content, it doesn't matter whether emotion is good or bad. What matters is how strongly it activates a person. And from a marketing standpoint, there are only two types of emotions that really matter: high arousal emotions and low arousal emotions. So let's think about it. What emotions does this content make you feel?
Today I discovered what my friends want to be as grown-ups. This is John Wheels. He's a little bit obsessed with his bike, Camille Crouton. And there are two things she can't live without these days. One is bread. The other one is...
And what about this one? See the difference? It's obvious, right? High arousal emotions are the ones that make people act. They trigger reactions, comments, shares, debates, engagement. These include curiosity, surprise, laughter, fear, admiration, irritation, and affection. A person feels a rush and does something. Low arousal emotions do the opposite. They calm, but they don't move. Yet many creators still use them. That's satisfaction, sadness, neutrality, serenity. And please remember this once and for all, it doesn't work. These emotions don't go viral. If your content triggers low arousal emotions, people may like it, but they don't want to share it. If it triggers high arousal emotions, it starts spreading on its own. That's why useful content alone doesn't work. It doesn't hook, it doesn't surprise, it doesn't provoke. It gives no reason for the viewer to feel something. So how do we trigger high arousal emotions in expert content? Many experts are sadly mistaken when they think if they present simple, clear, and useful information, the audience will just start reacting. And actually, it doesn't work that way. You can explain things perfectly, analyze cases, numbers, and statistics, but if a person doesn't feel anything, they won't take a single action because facts alone aren't enough. Imagine this. If Prada, Dior, or Jacquemus constantly talked about their fabric quality and precise stitching, no one would really buy because people don't care about the characteristics. They buy a feeling, the feeling of luxury and status. So instead of overwhelming your audience with data and information, focus on emotions and figure out how to make people care. That's where the key to success lies. Facts don't sell. Reactions do. So to create that reaction, even in dry expert content, you need to understand which emotions really move your viewer. Here are the 8 most powerful ones. First, surprise and amazement, the wow effect. The hardest type of content because with every passing day, it's getting harder to surprise people. Many bloggers grow their reach thanks to this, setting their cars on fire, crashing into showrooms. The main rule here though is not to go too far because the line between wow effect and nonsense is very thin. Second, interest and curiosity. This is the fuel of retention. So stories, unexpected facts, controversial statements, everything that makes people watch till the end. These are the same emotions that tabloids and clickbait headlines rely on. You've seen plenty of them. You know there's nothing useful there, but you still click and can't help but watching until you find out how it ends. Remember the Dove video, Real Beauty Sketches, where an artist draws portraits of women first from their own descriptions and then from others describing them. A perfect example of this emotion. Third, admiration and inspiration. When a person sees scale, strength, and beauty or mastery, they feel, wow, that's incredible. This emotion works best for brands, experts, and creators who project confidence and excellence. Fourth, tenderness. Kittens, puppies, children, grandparents, a guaranteed win if you use it in your content. Fifth, irritation and anger. Negative emotions are very powerful, but they must be used carefully. Controversial content works better than any life hack. People love to argue. Provocation is a strong tool if used wisely. Sixth, respect and recognition. These emotions resonate with ambitious people. They work well for luxury brands and exclusive channels. Seventh, fear and empathy. Fear is a negative emotion, but it's highly activating. And empathy, compassion for someone, connects a person quickly and deeply on an emotional level. Eighth, joy and laughter. This is the instant pleasure our brain loves. Logic can't convince it that there are more important things to do. That's why humor, self-irony, and genuine reactions always increase retention and engagement. These emotions work equally well in text and visual. The main rule is simple. It doesn't matter which emotions you trigger. What matters is that it's high arousal. It makes a person want to react. The formula of viral content. When we talk about emotions, it's important to understand they carry not only impact, but also value. Look at premium brands like Hermes, Dolce & Gabbana, Chanel. They don't sell products, they sell added luxury value. And what is that? It's not about fabric, stitching, or composition. It's about the emotion a person experiences when they come into contact with the brand. The core emotions that create this high perceived value are a sense of social dominance, self-respect, and the feeling of status, attractiveness, a sense of taste and experience, the demonstration of high quality decisions. Content plus emotion equals virality. Product plus emotion equals high price. It works the same way in business and in content. When you share facts, you explain. When you share emotions, you engage. You create a feeling your audience wants to experience again. Take a look at advertising or image videos from premium brands. There are no explanations, only light, movement, music, and emotion. You don't remember the details, but you remember the feeling. And here, everything matters, from visual language to color. Color directly affects emotion. Yellow equals optimism, warmth, clarity. Orange equals friendliness, confidence, joy. Red, energy, courage, excitement. Purple, creativity, imagination, wisdom. Blue, trust, strength, reliability. Green, health, growth, calmness, and gray, neutrality, harmony, and balance. This isn't just about aesthetics, it's a tool that helps evoke the right emotional state in the viewer. So how do you apply this in practice? Show emotions in your expert content. Don't act like an encyclopedia. Be human. Build emotions into your creative content. Infuse your personal content with emotions that reflect your brand philosophy. Identify which emotions your audience actually needs through your target audience analysis. Choose high arousal emotions that drive action. Avoid low arousal emotions that relax or disengage viewers. Use color intentionally to trigger the right emotions. Don't be afraid to experiment. Emotions are your testing ground. Now it's your turn. Take your latest video and analyze it. What emotions did you trigger in your viewers? Were there moments of curiosity, surprise, admiration, or laughter? Or did it end with just facts? If you want to understand why your content isn't working, drop the link to your latest video in the comments below. We'll select a few examples and break them down in the upcoming episodes. And please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the breakdowns and new lessons on viral content from the Sociala team.